Part 2, December 24th, 2019. It was just as nice, if not better, in some aspects. The group really clicked and got super close, much closer than people got on my first time. And not to mention, the best part about the whole trip is that Atlantis rocked out with me. It was super enjoyable to have that experience with her. She was so good out there. She took the medicine like a champ. Now, as for my intention, question, being shown to me, and it was as if the spirit gods were acting out a scene of a spiritual type of baptism or an initiation or something that represented protection from divine beings without saying words, just enacting a divinely orchestrated process that seemed like an initiation. There were no words or dialogue, but rather the scene being shown is what was delivering the message. It was like a telepathic communication, but the message I received was that I was divinely blessed and that these beings have always seen to it that I was protected. It's like the verbal interpretation would be spirit. So it's like I'm speaking as spirit being into myself. So spirit being saying, Rashawn, we've always guided you and looked after you. We protected you until you woke up and remembered. This is your destiny. You are living it fully because this moment was written in the stars and awaiting you to give it the divine energy it needed. And at that point, I felt a hand touch my right shoulder, and that whole area of my body shined a bright gold. This spirit's energy gave me the feeling that I had nothing to worry about regarding starting New World energy. Spirit being again. You're never alone. We work in the background of your life and will always make sure that your intuitive decisions are pointing you in the direction that is along your path. Now, before I go to the next page, I want you to know that spirit is within all of us, and spirit wants to speak to you. This is just me allowing communication between myself and spirit, but spirit wants to help you do everything you want in the same exact way. But if you don't realize it or acknowledge it, it can't do anything. So just, take this communication as proof that communication can be had. And at that moment, every ounce of fear, doubt, worry, etc. just left my body. And that part of my brain was significantly less clouded and lighter. It was as if I took off a heavy jacket. That's how much set energy left my mind. I felt ready, and I am ready. I'm ready to do the things that growing up as a child I only dreamt about and wished for. I'm ready to enter into a new reality in which I change the world. I'm ready to accept my fate and commit my life to elevating my soul until it reaches the kingdom of God. I want all that is written in the stars, and I commit myself to becoming the person I need to evolve into to be ready when the opportunity presents itself. I will transcend my lazy habits. All right, so, right before we get to this next one, this is obviously a alchemical process, but you see the transition. I'm starting to believe that this shit is, like I'm writing, like I want all that's written in the stars. I'm ready, but I also am always like, I'm ready to commit. I'm ready to do my part. You have to be willing. Don't just talk about what you want, talk about what you're willing to give in return. But then, lo and behold, and that's not to say that you should not acknowledge things that you need to do to get better, but the whole theme of this reflections thing is I just can't seem to find a journal entry where I'm not bashing myself in some way, opposed to just really giving myself all the praise that I want. So anyways, to continue, I will to transcend my lazy habits and that have plagued my life up until this point. I want everything to be moving, full flow, no more kinks in the line holding back my life force. From this day forward, I will rise to the occasion and will purify my divine faculties so that I can work directly with the power of God to change paradigms. The world needs me to wake up, and I remain in a sleep state because I have continuously given Set more energy than Heru. When I make conscious decisions to indulge in behaviors, habits, thoughts, patterns, diets, and the like that I now realize will never bring the desired outcome. It's weakness, it's human, it's ordinary. to indulge these things, but not the way of a superior man. And that is the person, being a man I have incarnated to become. 28 starts your divine life. You are blessed. No, 1 started your divine life. You have always been blessed. And these are very, you were at this point, like, right on track and on target. You were right where you were supposed to be. You brought your mother a house, right? You didn't need this part, because that's the thing. You're right. Like, don't get caught up in thinking you could be this perfect human. This last paragraph, it's weakness, it's human, it's ordinary. Motherfucker, that's what you are. Okay, you decided to be limited. It's ordinary to indulge these things, but not the way of a superior man. Don't get caught up in this ego shit of the world. Okay, the superior man is the balanced man, not one that's trying to fight the world and fight nature. Like, look, if you just swing in that air, you'll never win. So even at this time, you didn't need this part. Although it did help you and it has helped people in the past, I want the message to be just skip these parts and just keep connecting with God, because sometimes God, through you, will create miracles, things that you can't do. Even if you train your ass off every day, God can create miracles through you. So it's not about how much you train, it's about how much you get in connection. Here we go, to continue. I want to rid myself of impurities. Of what impurities, bro? You are fucking God. Excuse me. I want to rid myself of impurities. I am divine being having a physical body experience and beginning to remember things that have always been with me, just in a dormant state. I have made it the point in my journey. I've made it to the point in my journey where the word belief has exploded and burst into millions of little pieces. Belief has completely exited my body regarding New World energy, and was and is replaced by a downpour of knowing. I see New World energy in the future with the utmost detail that I've convinced myself that it's real and actually exists. And I have been fighting with my brain to try and understand who is right. So this is me speaking as the part of my brain that we would call, set, or, the negative Nancy. So this is what that part is saying to me. Maybe I live in a fairyland and belong to be associated and grouped with the people called dreamers in society. Or maybe functions of my mind have so deteriorated that neurologically it's misfiring and causing me to have extremely detailed visions of a very real future that does not exist today. Maybe that's it. Well, now Spirit interjects and says, or just maybe you have, through spiritual study and devotion, unlocked a door in your mind in which Spirit stepped in and entered a space that seemed to be pitch black and infinitely larger than anything on this earth. And upon returning, you had a newfound knowledge and fundamental understanding of the inner spirit. It's like this info was downloaded into my psyche, and it showed me that belief and doubt are man's only demons, and that knowledge and acceptance is man's only requirements to be granted entry into God's divine realm. I think this word might have been wrongly written to show me belief and doubt are man's demons, probably doubt just only. And knowledge and acceptance is man's requirements to be granted entry into God's divine realm. So, this is Spirit's suggestion when you start being bad on yourself and thinking you're crazy and thinking maybe you're just, too, you think too highly of yourself, or maybe you're not worth these things that your brain's telling you you're worth. Maybe, when you have those thoughts, you should just think of what Spirit thinks about you, and then begin to remember and accept this connection. Which is the ultimate theme of reflections, which we'll get to. But let's just do our best to eliminate the negative Nancy, and just illuminate the positive aspects. Not ignore the negatives, but just don't pay them too much attention, Peace and bless yourself.